Welcome to Buzz in the Tower, man. A podcast Abba.
Only friend?
Podcast dedicated to Jerry Garcia, man.
You have a terrible weed voice.
I know. I wish I could do a Jim Brewer voice better. It'd be great.
I can do an okay one. Want to hear?
I don't. Welcome to Buzz in the Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies of the 1980s and the 1990s. I'm Mo Shapiro. Joining me, as always, the man who fashion took a dump on, Max Sanders, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, this one's something I want to do before we start. Ready?
Yes, Max. The world is your oyster. Eat it.
Get some sour cream and onion chips with some dip, man. Some beef jerky, some peanut butter. Get some Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars, whole lot. Make sure you got chocolate. Gotta have chocolate, man. Some popcorn, red popcorn, graham crackers with marshmallows, little marshmallows, and little chocolate bars so we can make s'mores, man. Also, celery, grape jelly, Captain Crunch with the little crunch berries, pizzas. We need 2 big pizzas, man. Everything on them with water, whole lot of water, and Funyuns.
Question.
Yeah.
What are graham crackers?
They're related to graham crackers.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you'd want to do that because you know that your 2 greatest weaknesses in the world are reading and providing rehearsed material.
And the Dutch.
Smell like cabbage.
Yeah, I think I did pretty good.
Yeah, no, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Welcome to Buzz in the Tower. And,
That's the ultimate food order.
Yeah.
I want all that.
Of course you do.
Don't you?
No, I don't. Not a single thing. Oh, the pizzas. I like pizza.
You like Funyuns?
You know what I like doing is starting the show.
Oh.
That's what I like doing.
Okay.
So don't let me leap across this table and slap you.
You never slapped me.
I should. I fantasize about slapping you.
You want to tell the story of how you slapped your friend with his shoe and beat him up?
That's not the right story.
Oh.
He slapped me with his shoe, and then I beat him up. So you were close.
What kind of shoe was it?
Good old Ann Arbor. It was a sandal.
Ah.
It's from what I recall.
Who threw the shoe?
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's ignorant. It's ignorant.
No, stop.
Today we're talking about Half Baked, which is
I can't believe you picked this.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
This is a classic example of like the right movie at the right time in my life. 1998, freshman in college. Like
Yeah.
this movie spoke to me in ways that no other movie could.
Did you see it in theaters or?
No, I
The DVD was huge.
did I see it in theaters? I might have seen it in theaters. I don't
So
even
it
remember.
came out
99?
January 16th, 1998.
No, it's DVD. When did DVD come out?
Probably 6 months later.
Yeah, I don't remember what the like lead time used to be back in the day, way more. But
Yeah,
I don't
6
remember.
months to a year.
Two. Let's see. What are we doing today? We're doing Half Baked podcast. Follow us. Leave a review. 5 stars. We're on Apple
Who
Podcasts,
would
Spotify.
think this is not a podcast?
If you were on YouTube, you'd be like, these guys are committed to their YouTube channel, so you wouldn't know.
Okay.
Speaking of YouTube.com at Buzz in the Tower, where you can see Max's shirt. It's a good thing I'm not epileptic. The way you dress, I'd have seizures almost every other episode.
I wore this for my nephew. He liked it a lot.
Oh, that's cute. Oh,
Yeah.
now I feel like a jerk.
But no, I mean, I bought it beforehand.
Okay, now I feel better.
So I'm going to Miami in a week, and like
course.
this is one of my like.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You look like an old school like
Miami.
Jewish brothel owner in Miami. I'm gonna call you Sal.
Cool.
All right.
Sal Goldenberg.
Yes.
And Steen.
Like
the birdcage.
Let's see. What did we talk about? We talked about YouTube. We talked about the podcast.
80s Tees.
80stees.com, our sponsor. You cannot find Max's shirt on 80stees.com, which is why they're still in business.
It's from China.
It is China. Is it from the Gulf of China? Let's see. Patreon.com/Buzz in the Tower, where you can feed Max's habit of buying ugly shirts. And,
It's $12.
It was good. We're ripped off. And social media. TikTok. Instagram.
Jesus Christ.
Is that a social media platform? We should create an
Red
app.
Note.
We should create an app called JC. Just all types of religious.
We'd probably be sued.
By who?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a way to go down. At Buzz in the Tower is our tag on social media. Am I forgetting anything, Max? I don't think I
No.
am.
I had one question though, actually.
Oh, only one?
Yeah.
Okay. Mark that. I want a thing that comes up. I want a ticker on this episode called Max's Questions. Bloop. One question. Go ahead.
Let's say your house is burning down.
Mm-hmm.
What's your prize? Like your family's safe,
Mhm.
animals are safe.
Mm-hmm.
What's the prized possession if you had time you're grabbing out of here?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have a prized possession,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Like I should have an autograph something or like something I love, like
Oh,
memorabilia.
man.
What's your thing? Do you have a Lions thing?
No, you know, I've got some stuff for my parents I'd probably grab because my kids are producing artwork at a like a freaking Cambodian sweatshop.
You have enough macaroni art?
Yeah, I'm good. You know.
Because you have your kids.
Yeah.
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 But what would it be from your
I
parents?
don't know, like photo albums, old cards,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I got nothing.
Oh, well, this is,
I take the shirt, maybe.
yeah.
Save the shirt.
Save the shirt. Max, when a member of their crew gets arrested for killing a New York City police horse by feeding it junk food, 3 slackin' stoners are
Butter
forced,
shots.
are forced to get off their butts and raise bail by selling pot stolen from a pharmaceutical lab. It's a risky plan. Hey, these are stand-up guys who would do anything to help out a friend in need.
It's a great 90s plot.
So this is I said this before and it's true. This is an example of the perfect movie at the perfect time in my life, right? Like I saw a bunch of people smoking the devil's lettuce.
Yeah.
I certainly never did it, but I was aware tangentially of what the effects were. And it seemed to align pretty well with what my experience was in college. And it's also interesting because this was at a time where I think the taboo was starting to wear off of marijuana in the late 90s. Now weed is like you can't walk out of your house in Michigan without smelling weed. Like it's like, I mean, for
cannabis stores are like every other block.
So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the state of Michigan, there is a city in the state of Michigan called Ann Arbor. And Ann Arbor is where Max and I both went to college, go blue. And the University of Michigan used to have an annual event.
Hash bash. Yeah.
Now, before I met Max, because remember I did two tours in Vietnam, if you will, of bartending. My first was from 97 to 2001 when you were, but a wee babe. And then my second tour was with you.
Yep.
By the time you were bartending, was hash bash still a thing?
Oh, it's still a thing now.
It is still a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when I did it, it was huge.
Last year, my cook took off for 20 minutes, and we're like, "Where'd he go?" He came back. He couldn't function. They had this giant fan that they'd put a bong in front of it, and they'd just blow you with like that industrial fan. That's
amazing.
And he was incoherent.
So yeah, now that weed's legal, I would assume hash bash is bonkers.
Yeah, well, it's nicer because it used to be a lot more dirty wook people that came out of the sewers.
So my experience with hash bash from 97 to 01 was literally a bunch of broke hippies.
Yeah,
and they would all get stoned. And they would come to the bar.
Crusty punks.
Yeah, and they would order an enormous amount of food and they wouldn't tip.
Yeah.
I hated it. The only thing I hated more than hash bash was art fair. Art fair was
we're not open anymore for that.
I was going to say, back in the day.
Yeah, we used to give out smoothie samples.
Dude,
remember that?
You and I, that was 3 12-hour shifts back to back to back. It was terrible. And for nothing. You make no money.
With normal, like, older people.
And Max, just so you know, will do literally anything for money. So the complaint only is because it was nobody tipping and it was a bunch of,
Yeah, it was upsetting.
Dirty yipsy people. Those gypsy yipsies. Actually, that's what hash bash was. When you look at Dave Chappelle today and who he is today, it's almost hard to believe that this is his movie because Half Baked has a
lightness.
Yeah, and it's when you learn more about the movie, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit. The movie was written by Dave Chappelle and
Neil Brennan,
his buddy.
Yeah.
And the original script that they wrote was just butchered to hell by the studios. And in fact, Neil Brennan was interviewed and he said that they both hate this movie.
That's so weird.
It's not weird because when you watch Half Baked and you put it up against the Chappelle Show, it is the difference between, that's a cute Hollywood-made edgy movie on marijuana versus like the Chappelle Show is a groundbreaking comedic. So the Chappelle Show changed my life. I was like, this is got to be the most incredibly edgy, funny. I cannot believe I still to this day cannot believe what they got away with on the Chappelle Show.
Yeah, I guess when you're that talented, when you make a light, like small jab movie that's entertaining, it's got to be frustrating as opposed to me who would like, this is the greatest thing I've ever made.
He's early enough in his career, and I understand this. Like they're the two paths, if you will, of success in the creative world. One is fit the mold, stay quiet, kiss the rings. But then you have a ceiling, and the other is Quentin Tarantino.
Artistic
let's make Reservoir Dogs. Let's do something weird that no one's ever seen before.
By the way, have you seen the interviews with Quentin Tarantino of him code switching when he talks to a bunch of black people?
No.
It's the most horrifying.
I don't know what code switching is.
Really?
I also don't know why your nose runs every single week. It's incredible.
It's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
It's glistening. I can look at it.
You're lying.
It seems to me that your nose glistens like a candle in the wind.
There's this interview where he's on a BET thing and he's just talking like jive, and it's like,
oh, I do know code.
It's
That's where you like, yeah. It's like when I'm around my Jewish friends and I'm like,
you call these bagels? Where's my change?
So that's offensive. The bagel thing wasn't.
It's self-inflicted. That
doesn't matter.
We're allowed to.
No, not, dude. Too soon. When I'm drinking water, you're allowed to talk. You don't just have to stare at me.
He can cut it.
I don't leave it. I want it left.
People are gonna think their radio cut out. It's gonna be like a Sopranos episode.
Dead air.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink again. If you have a filler, please go ahead.
So, did you have a bong in college? Two? I had
no, not two. That's question number 2.
Oh.
Make sure you mark that on the board because he said he only had one question.
I think it's 3.
Oh, it is
We
3.
just talked about Quentin Tarantino. Have you seen
Have
Quentin
you
Tarantino?
seen? Yep. Thank you. Question 3. Excellent work, Costa.
I had one called Bilbo Bongans.
Yeah. Wesley Pipes.
Yeah. Billy Bong.
No way, man.
Get Wesley.
Not while he's in jail. Get Wesley Pipes. The other
Bong Travolta.
So I could be screwing up. I mean, this is so long ago. I could be screwing up the dates, but I thought my first introduction to Jim Brewer was he on In Living Color?
No, he's on SNL. He's Goat Boy.
Yes, you're right. But
Joe Pesci too.
yeah, but that wasn't my first like.
Was he on Mad TV? Maybe.
No, the first thing I really remember about him was a comedy sketch.
Okay.
And have you ever seen the comedy sketch where he talks about drinking alcohol and they're all showing up at his? It's hysterical. It'll be easy to dig up and find. So in this comedy sketch, he's like, man, you're partying and you kick back a few beers. And when he says that, it cuts to a sketch of this kind of like door to a club. And the door to the club is the door to his stomach.
Okay.
And the first couple of people that come in there are some Germans because he's having German beer, right? And then after that, he has some scotch.
Is he all the people or?
Yeah, and it's all these different people who are like meant to be resembling the type of alcohol that he's drinking.
Yep.
He goes, and then, man, the end of the night, tequila shows up. And it's like this like Mexican, like stereotypical Mexican coming in there. He's like, tequila never shows up on its by itself. And it's like 7 or 8 Mexicans. And they get inside the door and they ruin the party. And they're all like, oh man, you got to get out of here. And then they're like,
puke?
yeah, they're like, no, man, you got to leave the way you came in. It's a very funny skit. That like he is hilarious. I actually think he is the funniest in this movie.
You think so? I love Chappelle can actually.
Chappelle's character, Sir Smokes a Lot, is the funniest in the movie.
Okay.
After that, Jim Brewer is the funniest in the movie.
I think Chappelle actually shows he could actually be a good actor with this. Like he's charming. He's kind of handsome in a weird way when he's younger.
Yeah.
Like I like when he's like, I'm a scholar.
Yeah.
I'm handsome.
Yeah.
People like me.
But this is the kind of thing, right? Like I've seen him in so many, like he's so much better in Chappelle's Show. So for me, I look at this, I'm like, meh. Chappelle's Show ruined this movie for me.
You think so?
For me personally, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can watch this movie anytime.
Of course you can.
It's so charming. Like it's such a simple plot too. You kill a diabetic horse.
Buttercup. That what's that actor's name? He's absolutely hilarious too.
Harold
Ramis.
Yeah.
No, it's not Harold Ramis. Yeah.
He's in so many things.
He's in a lot of things.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's the hitchhiker in what's it called?
Yo, man, I'm Cuban B.
Yes, Cuban B.
Sorry, I'm jumping around from characters. I quoted, this falls in the sweet spot of movies that I've quoted so many times, right?
Talk to Samson.
Doctor says I need a backiotomy.
The you, you're cool.
There's going to be a lot of editing.
And you, I'm out. And goes the burger.
That is used all the time. That scene has been beaten to death. The whole scene when he first meets Sir Smokes a Lot.
Yeah.
And he's like, he opened up to me. He told me about his lawyer. He had sex with my mama. Why? His spirituality. God, if you're listening, help. His bad back. Doctor said I need a backiotomy. His love life. I'm impotent, man. Get away from me, bitch.
He slaps her.
Slaps her, yeah.
What the 5 fingers say to the face.
Oh, my
Slap.
God. It's so good, dude. Smoke a lot.
This was before
I
Anchorman.
want to talk to Samson.
Before Anchorman, this was kind of the quote movie, right?
Yeah. Fly me to the moon. Sometimes it's hard being young, black, and gifted.
Who is Alice?
I just want to get lifted.
Who's Alice Gramson? That's who he says.
Who's what?
Fly me to the moon like that big Alan Gramson.
Oh, I have no idea.
That's what he says.
Maybe Google it.
Okay.
It's probably an astronaut.
Let's see.
That would be my guess.
No, but
By the way, question.
Alice Cramden. Cramden.
Nearly killed him.
Oh, I know who it is. This is really good. This is incredible.
Look how excited you are.
Oh my God. It's the actress who was on The Honeymooners. So like, I'm gonna send you right to the
amazing.
moon.
That's
really,
amazing.
that's actually
That's
great.
funny.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Layers. The layers of this movie are so good.
It's about the depth.
Ah, sweet. Give me a pound of that. Sweet as Chiva.
So do you hate any movie where there's a voiceover where someone's telling you about a world, how it is? I love that.
Yeah, I like
Like,
a good voiceover.
there's nothing.
Shawshank.
Yeah. Yeah. Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Goodfellas.
Yeah.
God, what other movies have voiceover?
The Goonies.
No, it doesn't. Just Chunk. No. Who would it be? What's his
Sloth.
name? Sloth. That was the greatest summer of my life.
It's not even how he sounds.
I know.
That's the best part. You didn't even do his voice.
Almost afraid.
That's the greatest summer of his life. I got to tell you, I think the funniest part of the entire movie, and I don't even have a debate about what the funniest part of the entire movie is. So he meets Mary Jane at the prison.
Do you know what her last name is, by the way?
Mm-mm.
Her last name is Potman.
Oh, that's funny. You know what she's in, right?
The Craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's by the way,
She's so-
we should do The Craft.
Super down.
Let's do The Craft next week.
Okay, cool.
I'm in. I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Yeah.
That movie is like a hidden gem. I am a huge fan of The Craft.
Tons of people love that
Yeah.
movie. It's
yeah.
freaking great.
This guy loves that movie.
Yeah.
And this guy makes all the calls.
She is one of the most iconically 90s looking girls. Like they don't have
beautiful.
Hair, they don't have hair like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
she wears like these sundresses.
Yeah.
She likes a drug smoking idiot custodian.
Going back to just late 90s, there's still not a ton of films that are African American led films.
Yeah.
And like even though you have these two characters in Chappelle, the other peripheral characters are white, but like he's leading, the call
Yeah.
on this.
Old James.
I totally forgot what I was going to. Oh yeah, my favorite scene in the entire movie, unquestionably. They meet Mary Jane and they're at the jail and they get a ride home. And the two, by the way, the funny part of this is the two of them being asleep in the backseat is also just like classic stoner idiot friends. And he is like kind of slipping his way through, like starting to ask her out. And he's like, would you want to maybe like grab ice cream sometime? And his friends are awake the whole time. And they start giving him crap. And if you pay close attention to Jim Brewer, he's so goddamn funny. He's like, ice cream. I can watch that scene. I replayed that scene 5 times and just laughed every time at how absurd he is. His big tongue just out there like,
Dave Chappelle's so embarrassed.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
It's
really
a great
fun.
movie. Max, great movies always have great facts. What do you got on this movie? Share with me.
Well, first of all, still quotes. They killed Killer B. Or
The dog.
Jim Brewer's explanation of why Killer died is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
When Jim Brewer also satires Jerry Maguire when he's leaving.
I'm not gonna do.
I know you think I'm gonna freak out.
No, what's even funnier is before that, you're like he was gonna quit, but he got fired.
Abba Zabba.
You ever had one?
No.
There's peanut in the middle. It's peanut butter.
It's good.
Yeah.
Is heavy, I think. Just want to make sure you're getting all those questions.
Okay, facts. Like you said, Chappelle said the script was murdered.
Yeah.
And he was very unhappy with it. The look of the guy's apartment is based on the Grand Royal, the studio where the Beastie Boys recorded their music.
Which makes sense because
The director was married to Mike D from the Beastie Boys.
And that director also did
Billy Madison.
and a whole bunch of music videos.
Yeah.
So
And-
she's pretty incredible.
And Crossroads with Britney
Yeah.
Spears. And she probably would have been the Adam
Sweet,
Sandler
sweet
director because they wanted her to work on Happy Gilmore. And she refused. She was like, I don't know. And the guy who worked on Happy Gilmore ended up being his director for all his kind of like Hubie Halloween, Grown Ups, like all his dumb group together movies that like make a ton of money but people hate.
I call it his welfare films
Yeah.
to keep all of his friends rolling in money. I wish my friends would do something like that for me. But
You're the friend that does that.
I am the friend that does that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not carrying my weight. I just loan money to people. I'm a loan shark.
Yeah.
I'm a shiesty loan shark. Chappelle was inspired to write Half Baked after he had learned about the delivery system that existed in New York in the 90s. So apparently that's a real thing. You could
Yeah,
have people. That's crazy to me.
Makes sense.
That's how you got your weed. People delivered it to you. I guess it makes sense, but it just, again, today, DoorDash will bring you weed because it's legal.
Will it
But
actually?
No, but
Oh.
but it could in
Yeah,
theory. But back then, it's still crazy to me that existed.
There was less tracking. You know, it makes sense. Like you didn't take a picture of somebody or anything like that. There weren't Ring doorbell cameras.
So one of the biggest fights creatively about the film, and the director and Chappelle were locked step on this, along with Neil Brennan. The opening scene of the movie, the studio did not want to do it, where all the kids are getting high.
Yeah.
Which, again, for the time is like a fairly taboo opening to a movie, right? To show a bunch of kids getting stoned.
I love that there's old James. He's like, actually, old James wasn't there.
So she signed on. She only read the first 10 pages of the script and thought that was so funny. She's like, I'm in.
The giant
so
Abba
so when they tried to get rid of it, they were like, yeah, no, we're not getting rid of that.
What was the first time you can't do this, right?
No, go ahead. Ask a question. I cannot answer it, and also ring the question bell.
Got lifted.
God, when was the first time? Yeah, you can now because it's legal. It's like there's nothing wrong with saying that you smoke weed anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
This morning. It's kind of the nice thing. Honestly, it's the nice thing about the fire department is like my options of what I do in my life are heavily restricted. Like I can't grow a beard and I can't do drugs.
No more Adderall.
Nope. But I can kick puppies all I want. No, I'm kidding.
Honestly, the last podcast, you guys both seemed really high.
Yeah.
At points.
Yeah. Sometimes there's this like hysteria that happens. Like we've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
And I have to
laughter,
4 years.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, a couple of guys.
A couple of guys. I was a senior in high school and I was really, I was like a meathead.
Yeah.
And I feel like every single one of my friends was a stoner, except for a couple other meatheads.
So Dazed and Confused Pink Floyd situation.
Yeah, and me and one other meathead who I'm not going to give his name because it's not my place to say what he did or didn't do, but you know him well. He's one of my closest friends. Him and I had never smoked, and for years, right, for 4 years of high school, everybody always was like, dude, you got to smoke, let's go. And we're like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then one day, well after football season, we both decided like, all right, we're going to do it. And it was such a big deal for like all of the stoners to get the meatheads to smoke who had never done it before, that what ended up happening was we literally got passed around to every single, like the guys from college that were still back visiting, the seniors, the juniors, the sophomores, the freshmen.
Geeks, the freakazoids.
Yeah, everybody. So by the time the night was over, I remember being like so unfathomably stoned. And we went over to my buddy's house and somehow he had VHS copies of the original He-Man cartoon.
Oh, that's
Again,
cool.
back then, like the internet wasn't accessible.
Yeah.
And my one buddy, Brian, made me a jam sandwich.
Was it the
Nothing
best
else
sandwiches?
on it. And I remember eating that jam sandwich. I mean, Max, like I'm 40.
Still chasing that high?
I'm 46 years old. So this would have been
96, 97.
28 years ago.
Yeah.
And I can close my eyes and remember biting into that jelly sandwich. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest drug ever created.
Yeah.
Because this jelly sandwich is having a not a fiesta. What's a party?
Party.
Yeah. What's the word for nap?
A siesta. Yeah.
Not a siesta. In fact, a fiesta in my mouth, and I couldn't get over it.
No, I very rarely did it, but I would eat like 2 boxes.
I just had a therapy session where I was told to watch Terminator 2, and I was 6, and immediately after that,
Chewing becomes incredible, so I'll polish off 2 to 3 boxes of cereal till my mouth hurts.
Yeah.
Or like I'll go to a movie theater and get a garbage bag full of popcorn.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so more facts. When Thurgood says my grandfather was in the Tuskegee experiments,
Yes.
his grandfather actually was in the Tuskegee experiments. It's hard to say. Tuskegee.
You got it. Great work.
Where they thousands of African Americans were intentionally infected with syphilis.
It's not good.
No,
No.
you got to unintentionally do it.
The original ending of this movie was supposed to be much darker than it was when they're on the bridge and he's saying, which by the way, when he's like,
I love it.
she's like, one more time.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't. In the original script, he throws the joint into the water and he dives in after and dies.
Oh, that would have been dies?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
I know, isn't that dark?
That's good.
Yeah.
The last line of the movie is pretty much a mic drop, though.
Oh my God.
I love marijuana. I love it, but not as much as female cats.
Yeah. Doesn't need to be a female cat.
Nope.
It could just be a cat.
Yeah. Meow.
Meow. Why don't you just say it and have him bleep it out?
No, he's gonna have enough work.
Oh, now you're concerned about Costner.
No, it's gonna be like an extra $7 for
More
us.
facts. More facts, Max. More facts.
$7 per question.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Harrison Ford was asked a cameo in this movie, but he declined.
Oh, the cameos. There's a lot of really good cameos in this movie. Do you have a list? You
yeah,
should.
I do.
I've got a list too.
I can name them all.
I want to see if you recognize all of them. Tracy Morgan.
He's the VJ.
He's the VJ. He introduces Sir Smokes a lot.
Yeah.
How about Jon Stewart?
He's the everything is better when on
You ever
weed.
do a podcast on weed?
There's a guy in the bushes, man. Code Red.
Code Red.
Code Red.
So funny. By the way, apparently he was actually stoned while shooting those.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
How about Tommy Chung?
He's Squirrel Master.
He's Squirrel Master. Excellent work. Willie Nelson,
He's the old hippie.
old hippie guy smoking weed.
Yeah.
Snoop,
He's the scavenger smoker.
scavenger smoker. Janine Garofalo.
The creative weed smoker. You
And-
should seek therapy.
And I'm leaving the best cameo in the history of film for last.
Yep.
Bob
Okay.
Saget.
Yeah.
You ever suck for weed?
No, I can't say I have. Boo this man. Bob Saget out of left field. You forget how that he was still the clean guy.
So this was the first time you learned that he wasn't. So everybody in industry knew he was the raunchiest, filthiest like comedian
It's
ever.
amazing.
But I just knew him as like America's Home Video, or America's what's it called?
America's Dad.
No, what's the name of the show?
Full House.
Full House.
God bless America, people. I know Full House. The show where you used to submit your videos.
America's
America's Funniest
AFV.
Home Videos.
Yeah.
Thank you. There we go.
Was he the star of that? Or the
He was the OG host.
No way.
Yeah,
I don't
you didn't
remember.
know that?
I didn't
Oh, yeah,
remember.
you're too young. You guys are both too young. But he was before Carlton from Fresh Prince of
Alfonso
Are you
Bel-Air.
sure it wasn't Howie Mandel?
Yes, I am 1,000,000% sure that Bob Saget was the OG.
Home Videos original.
There was someone
Yeah,
after
you're right,
him
yeah.
too before Alfonso was on it too.
No.
Yeah,
goes
there's a guy. There's
There
another
was
guy.
one in between.
Another white guy whose
Yeah.
name I can't remember.
Tom Bergeron.
but yes, that's it.
Jess Harnell.
Yeah.
Daisy Fuentes.
Oh,
I remember her. Yeah.
Daisy.
Her and Carmen Electra back in the day.
Oh my God, dude, Carmen Electra. Can we just take a minute to talk about her?
Yeah.
I don't know why she wasn't more than she was.
She was funny.
Not just that, just stunning.
Yeah. Do you remember Good Burger?
Yeah.
I'm hungry, but not for food.
Yeah.
And
And then was she in basketball? Was she the girlfriend in basketball?
no, that's Jenny McCarthy. Who's really funny.
No, Jenny
Oh,
McCarthy.
That's
was,
Yasmin Bleach.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it Bleach?
Yasmin Black. I
How
don't know.
about Bleeth?
Bleach?
I don't think
Okay.
Bleach.
Yeah.
I don't think she bleached
Yeah.
anyone.
But Jenny McCarthy was the like.
Jenny McCarthy is one of my all-time OG
Yeah.
crushes.
Do you think her and Jim Carrey were like the funniest couple of all time?
Yeah, but I feel like it'd be too much.
He dwarfed her.
Like in the morning, you'd wake up and be like, "Good morning! Oh, hey, Jim! Can I get you some coffee? I don't want any coffee."
So has there ever been anyone else like Bob Saget who was like
Sorry, go ahead.
milk toast, completely like 90s person, but in real life was dirt? Oh, Bill Cosby. That's it.
Bill
Cosby.
Ooh, Coppity.
Cosby.
Coppity-doo, ba-da-ba-doo.
Yeah, it's Bill Cosby.
Theo.
Yeah, it's a little sadder.
R.I.P.
Is he dead?
No.
Oh.
To me.
He never went to jail.
He did. He got out of jail.
Yeah.
He went to jail.
For how long?
He was in jail forever. He just got released.
He's
What do you mean
blind.
He never went to jail. I feel like you're just saying things that aren't even true anymore.
Anymore?
Fair. Totally fair. All right, more facts, Max. More facts.
When the horse dies from diabetic shock.
That scene is incredible.
Yeah, you like the popcorn because it goes pop, pop, pop in your mouth.
But wait, hold on. Those two, like right, him and Jim Brewer, they do the best stoned actors ever.
They really do.
Ever.
Yeah. If I don't come back in 10 minutes, call the police. He didn't come back in 10 minutes. We're
Call
calling Domino's. The soundtrack of Ghost is playing in the background.
What?
Yeah, when the
Is it
go.
really?
Yeah. What a
Super
deep
weird.
cut. That's so weird.
Fresh fish.
By the way, Jim Brewer said he wasn't high the entire movie, which bravo, great acting, except one time. So they're filming the scene where Samson got arrested,
Yeah.
and they're done. for the day for filming, and Brewer got a bag of marijuana from Dave Chappelle, and he smoked it right after, and Brewer was called back to the set because Clarence Williams III wanted to quit the film and demanded all his scenes be filmed that day. So Brewer had to come back, and he messed up his lines all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have any other facts.
I don't get how people function while they're high. Some people do.
Well, I mean, it's just like drinking, right? If you don't ever smoke and you just smoke a lot one time, you won't be able to do anything. But if you smoke all the time, you get used to it. It's like drinking is the same way. There's people who are functional alcoholics.
Yeah, it's
There's
true.
people like me, like I drink twice a year.
Yeah, and you're like,
I'm like, oh, I can't feel my legs.
I mean, I used to drink yeah.
Max is 6'10". He's a giant. Okay, you're not 6'10". What are you? 6'5"?
5. Yeah.
6'5". And you know, you're old. You're like an old decrepit Jewish man now, but back in the day, you were like reasonably athletic, right? So there's two places that we just religiously ate pizza from when we were in college: New York Pizza Depot and Backroom Pizza. Backroom Pizza was more of like a hole in the wall
dollar slice.
So Max. We find out that Max went to Backroom Pizza and got into a fight with someone, which is very not Max-like, right? Like I was kind of shocked. But then a guy that we work with knew the people at Backroom Pizza and got a hold of the closed circuit TV video. Only because you know him. If you just saw it, you'd be like, okay, like I see this kind of stuff all the time.
No, it's pretty funny because
you know Max. This kid
5'2".
This kid is maybe 5'3" stretched. Okay,
120 pounds,
maybe 120 pounds, and he just turns and knocks Max out.
Yeah.
Socks him in the face, knocks him out cold. It was unbelievable. We watched it at the bar.
Did you not ever get like any sort of copy of that?
I think Dustin still has
Dustin
it.
might still have. Dustin listens to the pod. Dustin, reach out to me if you still have
So
the
I
video.
walk in there and I've had a few pops and I just bump into him.
Yeah, Max wasn't even being a prick. He was just being like,
I was.
not enough to justify getting socked in the
No,
face.
he said something and I pushed him and then I'm like standing there and he just clocks me. Yeah.
Big guy fall hard. You're such an idiot.
All right, let's go to cast.
I'm sorry. It's a great story.
It is. Like we said, the director Billy Madison also did like Indigo Girls and Hanson videos.
Yeah.
The writers, Neil Brennan, he did Keenan and Kel, all that, Singled Out. Remember Singled Out?
Mm-hmm.
It was like the first dating show. Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah,
It all comes full
McCarthy,
circle. Dave Chappelle, it's weird. I feel like he should have had...
Chappelle Show.
He should have had some acting career, right? Like, he doesn't really have...
He's a true traditional comedian.
I know, but he's got the chops.
He was great in the Clumps, not the Clumps. The
Nutty Professor.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
Yeah, it's Reggie.
Yeah.
What
he
is
was so
he
funny.
playing? A stand-up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though.
But
like
Con Air...
Dude, by the way, Chappelle's yoked now.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Con
Air, pinball.
Yeah,
Blue Streak, he's the like side guy. Star is Born, he's Bradley Cooper's friend.
Yeah.
Plays the series. You've Got Mail, he's weirdly Tom Hanks' friend.
Yeah.
Like he's got some acting to him.
I think that you've been spoiled by Robin Williams, who is like an amazing stand-up comedian, but also was an amazing actor. Will Ferrell's not a stand-up comedian at all. Not even close. When have you ever seen him ever do stand-up
Jim
comedy?
Carrey?
Jim Carrey was a stand-up comedian who was doing skit bits as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, more impressions.
True, like Dave Chappelle is a true blue stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And there are very few of them who have illustrious acting careers.
Yeah,
George Carlin. George Carlin might be one of the best ever. And was he Rufus in freaking
He's in Dogma.
Back to the Future in Bill and Ted?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Maybe Shane Gillis will have a career.
Who?
Shane Gillis?
Yeah, I mean, but even Shane Gillis, when he has, like, have you ever seen him out of skits, like
He's
acting?
the same dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, he's really good.
But you're actually making my point.
Yeah, you're
I
fair.
like that.
All right, moving on. Guillermo Diaz played Scarface.
Yes, he did.
I like Scarface a lot.
He's funny.
He was in High School High, Sopranos, Chappelle Show, Weeds.
What was he in The Sopranos? You don't know.
Just
You're
ran
reading stuff.
one episode.
Yeah.
Like nothing big.
Yeah.
Weeds. He was in it for a lot of episodes. Law and Order. He did a bunch.
Did you ever watch Weeds on Weed?
The first season's great.
Yeah.
and then it jumps off the rails.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
It's really good. You'd like it. Mary Louise Stewart?
Dreyfus?
No. Julia Louis Dreyfus. I've been watching Seinfeld bloopers.
Yeah.
Her and George's dad
Yeah.
almost fighting. You want a piece of me?
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
she's just losing it.
You and I are on the same TikTok algorithm. All the things you see, I see.
Jim Brewer, why didn't he have a bigger career? he's just funny. Like and
I think he's really funny.
and you need
but you know what though?
What?
Like he's very much a one-trick pony.
yeah, but you need a stone guy in most movies.
I know, but like at some point you're just like, what else can you do?
Joe Pesci impression.
Yeah, he used to always do. He would also do this like AC/DC thing on his stand-up. His stand-up is really fun.
Yeah, he's good.
But again, he's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, but I wonder what happened to him. I didn't really like figure out where his career
Him
went.
and Chappelle, I think, had a falling out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Don't quote me on that. I think I read
From the ice
something
cream
about
scene,
that.
Chappelle felt too hurt.
It's amazing.
Hurt. Harlan Williams, who was recently on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah.
I saw that. He plays Kenny. His cousin's in the Bare Naked Ladies. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber, he's a state trooper.
Yep.
Down Periscope.
He drinks the pee. It's really funny. Down Periscope is another movie I would not be
great.
opposed to doing on the
Is
show.
that a Tom Arnold movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Tim Curry, right?
Yeah. I'm not at a hard no. What did we land on for next week? I forgot.
The Craft.
The Craft. That's
Do you know
right.
what else is great that's underrated?
You're
Big
gonna
Bull-
need to text me. You got your phone on. You text the group The Craft. Just the words The Craft.
You remember Big Bully?
Mm-mm.
Tom Arnold and Rick Moranis, where Tom Arnold was his bully as a kid, and now they're two teachers together.
Vaguely.
It was good.
Yeah.
He was also in Superstar, Whole Nine Yards, Freddie Got Fingered, Robots, Employee of the Month.
Freddie Got Fingered.
Can we do that?
No,
Oh.
absolutely not.
Rip Torn.
I'm not a Tom Green. I never got it. I
He
didn't get it.
he changed my brain chemistry.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I was on a trip to New York with my dad. It was 7th grade, and I showed him in the hotel room. I'm like, "This is the funniest thing I've ever seen." And my dad looked at me. He's like, "We need to get you help.
More therapy. Like,
We
you
need
can't-
double
I got it, yeah,
therapy."
like-
Rachel True played Mary Jane, like we said, beautiful. She's best friends with Nev Campbell.
oh,
Yeah, it's from The Craft.
yeah,
I think. Yeah. Her dad is a German Jew and her mom's African American. That's a
Okay.
good combo.
yeah.
I should marry it. African
You're already
American.
married.
I once dated a South African girl that believed in polygamy, so I should call her up.
Yeah. Again, you're married, but continue.
But-
It's your current wife
Yeah.
that you need to get to believe in polygamy, not the other one, but that's fine. I think you have the whole system screwed up. I find it funny that we can't show the video that I want to show of you from 20 years ago because you're worried about how your parents are going to feel. But you're like, I should call up my ex-girlfriend who's a polygamist, and you're like, because Selena actually listens to this. Trish doesn't listen to this, so I say whatever I want.
Selena doesn't really listen. Once every often.
Once every often,
Oh.
I'll text her.
By the way, do you know there's a sequel to this movie that came out last year?
No.
It's called Half Baked Totally High, and she's in it.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah. It's about like Thurgood's son, basically. She was on the Cosby
Oh
Show.
my god, did I just yawn while you were talking? That's super rude. I'm sorry.
CB4, Sharknado 2, Dawson's
oh my god,
Creek.
CB4.
You love CB4.
I love
Why do you love
CB4?
CB4 so much?
Straight out of low-cal.
Crazy motherfucker named
Named
Gusto.
Gusto, yeah.
Clarence Williams III. He's the most evil-looking guy of all time.
Yeah.
He plays Samson Simpson. He's also the most evil dad of all time in Purple Rain.
Yep.
He's Prince's dad.
I've told you this. I'm not a Purple Rain fan.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you appreciate Prince?
No.
Well, that's the answer.
Yeah, I know.
It's a Prince showcase.
I know. I'm not a huge Prince
That's
fan.
fine.
Yeah.
It's a little nuts, but
I
yeah.
know. I know.
I mean, if he wanted me, he could have
weirds
me.
out. Oh my god. Here we go.
He's beautiful.
All right, Max.
Charming.
Is he a polygamist?
Probably.
Good.
He was in Twin Peaks, Deep Cover, Tales from the Hood, Reindeer Games, and he was Bumpy.
Do you know Tales from the Hood was a black exploitation version of Tales from the Crypt?
Yeah, no duh.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Yeah, he was the
The Crypt Keeper.
yeah. So really scary. And I knew I recognized her from something. Jan, the lesbian who is friends with Jim Brewer.
Yeah.
She looks really familiar, doesn't she?
No, not at all. But when you say this, it'll probably click.
She's Sarah Silverman's sister.
Oh, no way.
So she has kind of that look to her.
Okay, yeah,
She was
yeah,
on the
yeah,
Sarah
yeah.
Silverman program with her.
Okay.
But and she was also the receptionist in Dr. Katz.
I don't think I've seen Dr. Katz.
You know, with the
Is that with Richard Gere?
No, the therapist cartoon show with the little wavy lines and all.
Yeah. Iffy.
Yeah. But Cuban B.
Ah, yes.
Cuban B.
All right. Are we, what are we good? Are we done? We
Can
got
you
anything else
can
wanna
you
do?
do the Brian theory?
Another question, please.
Brian theory on what happened to Killer?
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
You want to hear what I think, man? First of all, to understand what happened to Killer, you got to understand who Killer the dog was. Now, Killer was born to a three-legged mother. He always is ashamed of this man. And right after that, he's adopted by this man, Tito Leibowitz. That got me. Tito Leibowitz got me.
You remember the picture?
I remember the picture, yeah. He's a small-time gun runner and a Rottweiler fight promoter. So he puts Killer into training. They see Killer's good. He's damn good. But then he had to... But then he had the fight of his life. They pit him against his brother, Nibbles. I wish I was high right now. This would be even funnier. And Killer said, "No, man, that's my brother. I can't fight Nibbles." And he made him fight anyway. And then he killed Nibbles. And Killer said, "That's it." He called off all his fights.
His little dog came on the phone.
And he started doing crack and freaked out. And then in a rage, he collapsed. And his heart no longer beat.
Wow.
You know, I never thought I'd say this to anybody, but you two smoke entirely too much reefer.
It's so good.
So good. All right. Why don't we head on over to our Buzz in the Tower fan spotlight? Max, today's Buzz in the Tower fan spotlight is ? Because you were all geeked about telling me who it was and you wouldn't share it with me ahead of time. Now I'm going to warn you, as I always do when you have surprises for me. The bar's been set very high because you have the Lynn Shay, which, by the way, Lynn Shay got back to us and sent me the contact information for her agent. So I've reached out to her agent in a lengthy email begging and pleading to get her on the show. So we'll see what happens.
Sweet.
So who, Max, is today's Buzz in the Tower fan spotlight?
Well, I was thinking we're doing a stand-up comedian. We should have a stand-up comedian. I got Jay Durena.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited that he just wants to come back on the show. He had a good experience.
He was super nice.
He's the best.
Yeah.
He's so funny. I've obviously watched more of his stuff now that we've had him on the show. He is a young Dave Chappelle.
He's probably older than Dave Chappelle.
An old Dave Chappelle. All right. Shay Durena. I can't say his last name. Durena. All of a sudden, you teach me how to speak. World famous comedian, one-time visitor of Buzz in the Tower, guest on the show, is our Buzz in the Tower fan spotlight. Let's hear what he had to say about Half Baked.
So we're talking about Half Baked. Personally, don't love it. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember when I saw it when I was younger, I thought it was good. And then I watched it again when I was 19 or 20. I probably saw it when I was maybe 13, 14, thought it was great. Then saw it again when it was 19 or 20. Didn't like it. And I haven't seen it again since. And then I remember hearing an interview with Chappelle where he talked about how he doesn't like it. And so I don't feel like I ever need to watch it again to kind of get the refresher. I just remember watching it with a group of friends and all of us being excited to watch it and then being like, it wasn't good. And we all being like, it kind of stinks. And there was one guy in the group who was kind of pretentious and he was like, I liked it. And we're like, you're wrong. And now that I know that Chappelle doesn't even like it, I don't think it stands the test of time, especially amongst the great stoner films that have been made.
Do you have a cocaine habit that I'm unaware of? Because your nose runs like it's in a marathon.
My heart would explode.
You're a Nigerian running person. You look like someone who has a cocaine habit. You dress like someone who has a horrible cocaine habit.
Yeah, but no.
No, okay.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, so it's because he's a comedian and he could probably sense Chappelle was trying to
I think it's the age too.
Yeah.
I think for me, I was 19 years old and surrounded by weed all the time. And this resonated, but he's right. I mean, when looking at Chappelle's body of work and what he's capable of doing, whether it's the Chappelle show or his stand up, this is kind of pales, but it's a cute, silly little film. And,
And maybe because you're starved. Is this the greatest Dave Chappelle movie? It is.
What do you compare it to, right?
Blue Streak, Screwed.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the best.
He's not great in movies.
It's the best use of him, and they haven't even used him that well.
You know what this kind of makes me think about is Matt Parker and Trey Stone. How have you ever listened to them talk about basketball and what a nightmare experience it was?
I love basketball.
Yeah, right. But their brilliance is never, ever exist outside, except for Book of Mormon, which I've never seen, which I hear is incredible.
It's really funny.
But like their brilliance is never matched by when they're acting. It's always their
So for stand up for Dave Chappelle,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Shay, great job. I agree with your take.
Check him out. He's on tour at Che Durena.
Thank you very much, Max. Good work. And that wraps our show today on Half Baked. A reminder, if this is your first time visiting, take a look at our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Our handles at Buzz in the Tower, BUZZ on the Tower. Subscribe, rate, review, leave 5 stars. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all podcast players, youtube.com at Buzz in the Tower. Give me 2 tickers. One is for our sponsors at 80stees.com. The other is the total amount of questions that Max asked after he said he only had 1 question for me.
Is that necessary?
Yeah, I'd like to see that, please. And patreon.com/buzzinthetower, buzzinthetower.com for the website. And Max, am I forgetting anything?
Nope.
Any questions you want to ask me before we leave?
I am Ron Burgundy.
I am Ron Burgundy. Doctor says I need a backiotomy. And next week we're doing The Craft, and I'll see you then.